We are a business defined by bravery, passion, and readiness. Born of the most diverse continent, and so our identity holds true to this, built with one principle in mind: start with iconic. So what is iconic about our African context? Red, rich, warm, and symbolic. It is in our lands, our skies, our stories, and is woven into the fabric of our cultures and nations. A sense of community like no other. We pull together through thick and thin because we are stronger and more resilient together. This builds networks, connections, and spheres of influence that draw their power from people. We are a continent, a people, and a business whose strength comes from the connections between infinite parts, unified by our purpose to bring possibility to life. We are Absa, and our meaning and expression is inspired by Africa. We simplified our core shapes, replacing old austerity with something altogether more human, refining it to a contemporary and cohesive foundation. We shifted our corporate red from one that was harsh and cold to one that is warm and human, and unleashed a powerful spectrum, African to its core. One that can express diverse meaning and humanity in all its forms. We are Absa, and this is our icon. It grounds us and expresses our humanity, strength, and balance. We create the waves of change. We inspire infinite possibility. And through this, we are bringing Africa into Absa. We make meaning with the stories we tell and have gestures that help us tell these stories, conveying meaning that requires no words. Inclusive, expressive, infinite, intimate, exuberant, epic, or quietly understated, youthful, or fun, premium, redefined, artful, always with people at the heart. It's a feeling. Let us go boldly into the future. We are Absa. We bring possibility to life.
Africa is a continent open to possibility, which comes to life when those with ambition and courage find the right partner, a partner with the tenacity to stand by them and light up a continent. With the experience and unique insights to go beyond limits, Absa Group Limited is that partner. We are synonymous with stability, transparency, and innovative thinking in financial services based on a legacy of 100 years of seamless execution across Africa. Our new brand and growth strategy define how we are shaping our destiny as a proudly African bank, inspired by Africanacity. This is the distinctly African ability to always find ways to get things done. Africanacity is what drives us, what sets the tone for our business, and echoes across our African footprint. Our corporate and investment banking business challenges limits. We close distances, connecting people to opportunities across borders, languages, and cultures. With global connectivity and local differentiation, we operate at the core of your strategy. Our understanding of each unique environment across regulatory and market practices results in a differentiated service and experience for our broad range of clients. Backed by insights into key sectors, we turn risks into opportunities, supported by a unique set of solutions that work across your full value chain. Our clients experience a seamless partnership across Africa, with aligned delivery positioning you for success across operating environments. Because African ingenuity and tenacity go beyond limits, so do we. Our world-class service is based on skills and expertise that have been developed to put our clients first, proven by numerous high-profile deals and coveted international awards. We are brave, we are passionate, we are ready. We are independently African, and we believe in building courageous partnerships that work. When you have the bravery to imagine and the will to get things done, that's Africanacity. That's Absa. Corporate and Investment Banking.
Hello and good morning, everyone. Those of you with me right here in the room, and those of you who are watching us virtually, welcome. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're watching us on Zoom, I want to welcome you today to the Absa Women in Business Live2Lead 2022 event. My name is Mercy Masila Achola, and I'm going to be your moderator for this day. And I'm so excited to be seeing you on air in the room again this year. It has been 12 months. Can you imagine? A year ago, we were right here hosting you with Absa Women in Business, and we are back again this year. Just for you to know, we want you to tell us, especially those of you online, tell us, where are you logging in from? We want to engage with you. We want to interact with you. We have awesome stuff lined up for you today. Our theme this year is leveling up, going beyond resilience, what is best for leaders, or what is next for leaders, and a business leader at that. And we want to ensure that we are all in the conversation. So be ready, take your notebook, take your pen. There will be amazing stuff coming from all our speakers, and we want to make sure that you are part of it this morning. So allow me to just introduce myself a little bit more to you, because my mentor and friend John Maxwell says it is important to know who you're learning from or who you're engaging with. Like I said, my name is Mercy, and I'm the founder of Value Connect, a business that I have been running for the last 8 years. But guess what? Because a lot of you online today and in the room are women in business. I am a woman in business, and I can relate with a lot of the things that you have gone through. The first time I set out to start my business, I fell face flat on, it was a non-starter, you know, it didn't get working. And this came after a career, a corporate career for over 20 years. So I know some of you also joining us, you're in the corporate space. I can relate to a lot of the things that you are going through. And when I started my business, I started doing trade missions, helping business people to connect to export markets. And 3 years ago, I became an executive director with the John Maxwell team. The reason for this is, as I went about hosting trade missions, I discovered that a lot of us, we are business people, we have fantastic ideas, and we get challenged when it comes to what I call essential skills. If you're put in the room in front of an investor, how do you present yourself? How do you pitch that conversation? You're working with your team. How are you engaging with them? How are you motivating them so that they can give you the kind of productivity you're looking for? And that was the reason why I decided to use the John Maxwell resources to help people like you and I to become strong in this space of leadership development. So that is who I am. In a nutshell, you get to know more about me as we go along this morning. And I just want to get us started onto the program. I hope those of you on the chat, you're telling us, where are you logging in from this morning? I know we have people from Ghana, we have people from Zambia, and if you're in Kenya, please tell us the location you are logging in from. We do have also our hashtags, which I'll be sharing with you, so that you can be able to tell us. Tweet and be able to inform us where you're from, what you're learning, and you tag us on those social media spaces so that we can know and we can see you. Now, for those of you who are here in the room with me, I want you to elbow your neighbor and say, "Aren't you looking amazing?" And then you elbow the one next to, you know, the one you didn't elbow them and tell them, "I'm looking amazing." You know, I have the privilege of standing here and looking at all of them, and I can tell you it's still the month of love. We're in February. I can see beautiful flowers in the room, and they're also looking very beautiful. A lot of red is represented in the house, and yes, Valentine's was just 2 days ago, and I can tell you the spirit is still here in the room. So we promise you a lot of energy, and we welcome you to today. So as we get started, I would like to introduce our first speaker. Our host for this day is Absa. And I can tell you, I have been working with Absa Bank for the last 3 years. As a woman in business, I work with them. And I can tell you what they preach, what they say, and the support they're giving to women, it is real. But let's first hear from them, because they are our hosts. I want to invite Elizabeth Wasuna, who is the Business Banking Director, so that she can give us the opening remarks as we get started. And as we do so, allow me to just read a little bit about her profile. Elizabeth is responsible for commercial and SME banking, trade and cash management, Islamic banking, vehicle and asset finance, and agribusiness. Under SME banking, she is spearheading the Women in Business proposition in partnership with ITC, International Trade Center, and it's under the brand, it's called She Trades. Elizabeth's banking career and experience spans over 25 years, and she has worked in various places, in various countries. And you can imagine, you know, she's grown up the ladder. She started off as a trainee, and today she is the business banking director. Can we put our hands together to welcome Elizabeth Wasuna to give us the opening remarks as we start our event this morning? Welcome, Elizabeth. Barasa, founder and CEO, Top Image Africa Limited. Fellow panelists, Chris Dias, a brave man in the room today. Thank you for being here. Shiro Waweru Waithaka, longtime friend, but also great supporter of our business. Thank you very much. Dr. Ruth Kinoti, thank you very much for the journey you've made, coming all the way from Meru to be with us this morning. Women in business present, those joining virtually, fellow Absa colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am more than privileged and excited to make a few remarks and to welcome you all to this year's edition of the exclusive Live2Lead event. I'm truly honored to be among you this morning, and I want to begin by reflecting on an enlightening quote by John Maxwell, which says, "Leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It is about one life influencing another. This, I believe, is why we are gathered here this morning, in order to enrich ourselves as well as others. The theme of our discussions, leveling up beyond resilience, couldn't be more apt, therefore. We live in a period where women in many parts of the world make up most of the population. But even though women hold a considerable share of all professional level employment, we continue to fall well behind men in terms of leadership positions. For instance, according to the Africa Union Gender Equality Index, women are still underrepresented in top official and corporate positions, and even more so in leadership positions, with only 22% women representation in ministerial and parliamentary roles, and 25% in management positions globally in 2017. I'm sure there's been some increase, but again, is it enough, ladies? That is a question in the room today. It goes without saying that these events like this promote women in leadership by bringing together leaders from varied backgrounds to share a passion for empowering girls and women to strive, persevere, and shine in their different sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, as Absa Bank, we instituted a group-wide women manifesto which outlines specific initiatives that promote diversity and inclusion across the bank. So the question was, can we be as authentic as what we're talking about? So we had to start from within. We also became signatories of the UN program, Target Gender Equality, whose main purpose is to continue bridging the gender gap. Through the hashtag #SheCan manifesto, we continue to advance inclusion by ensuring Absa benefits from the contributions and talents of women and others who have historically been excluded from positions of leadership. Over the past several years, Absa Bank has made significant advances in diversifying our leadership. And today we are proud to report that we are one of the most diverse organizations with 48% representation of women in our employee population. While we celebrate our progress, we also recognize how much further Absa Bank can go in our efforts to attract and retain a more diverse community. To this end, the bank has led the development of various strategic interventions targeted at women in business that represent our unwavering commitment to equality, diversity, and inclusivity. As an institution, we have also maintained a strong inclination and commitment towards expanding the role and influence of women in business. This is because women entrepreneurs today, more than ever, need a holistic support to build their leadership capabilities, in addition to financial solutions they can benefit from. Invited guests, our Women in Business SHE proposition, SHE stands for See Her Empowered, is built on 4 pillars: access to finance, access to information, access to mentorship and coaching, access to international markets and local markets aligned. Through this proposition, we aim to impact up to 1 million customers over the next 5 years. With more than 7,000 active customers, especially in the Women in Business proposition, we are providing unsecured lending of up to 10 million, a shot in the arm for women who need to operate or start a business. Our strategic partnerships with organizations like Melanine Capital, Unilever, GIZ, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and many others are helping to bring possibilities to life for women entrepreneurs starting in business or running a big corporation. We are committed to continue advancing this important gender inclusion agenda, and today's event is another testament to this commitment. I want to pause here and thank each and every one of you for taking time to join us today. And in this forum specifically, I also want to recognize and appreciate the Live2Lead fraternity led by Mercy Achola, as well as the women corporate leaders for agreeing to partner with us and to make this event a reality. This was our commitment last year, and I think we had to stand by what we said we were going to do. And now it's my privilege to bring back to the podium Ms. Mercy Achola to lead us through the rest of the program. Thank you very much and good day. Can we put our hands together for Elizabeth Wasuna? She's welcomed us in a great way. And guess what? If you remember, you were with us last year. We had some fantastic giveaways for you. This year is no different. And I want you to be paying attention, both in the room and online, because we'll be asking you some questions based on what is going on. And we have some fantastic giveaways. Of course, our host, Absa Bank, do have some great giveaway packs for us. We also have a great partnership from Safari Link, and we have three pairs of tickets, raffle tickets that will be given away. One pair to Diani, one pair to Malindi, and one pair to Lamu. So guess what? If you haven't had your Valentine treat yet, there's still time, huh? But you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention, and we'll be asking these questions, and we want to interact with you. We want to hear if you're listening, and we want to know that you're actually being part of us this morning. Now, and my first question, so that you know I mean business, before I even invite my next session with the panelists and we have a fireside chat, I want to ask a question from Elizabeth's opening remarks. Yeah, I know. If you hadn't drank your coffee, this is the time to determine if you did. But don't worry, I'll be nice. I'll start off very nicely. And as I do that, I also want to tell you some other gifts that we'll be having. As Value Connect, we'll also be giving you some giveaways in terms of something you can do for yourself, for your team. We call it the leadership game. It's something we come and facilitate to you, and I'll be showing you what it looks like. So we'll also be doing a raffle on that. At the same time, I also want to just give you a feel of what to expect this morning. We've heard from Elizabeth, and we're going to be followed now with a fireside chat, and I'll be introducing the speakers to you. And after the speakers, we will be listening to one of the Live2Lead speakers from 2021 by the name of Jamie Khan-Lima, and I'll be introducing her to you or telling you more about her as we go along. So are you ready? Are you ready for my first question? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. If you're on the chat, can you type yes? I want to see. Can you tell me, are they typing? I want to see. Are they typing yes? Are they with us? Good. Thank you very much. We see you. You're doing it, and we want to know. We want to know as you answer this question. Please tell us where this, I'm going to give away actually two. So I'll take one from the room, and I'll take one virtually, okay? So the team is going to help me with that. In her remarks, Elizabeth said Absa Bank is running a program for women. She. What does she stand for? Were you paying attention? Were you paying attention? I see a hand. So you're going to stand up in the room. I'm going to take one in the room, and I'll see what's happening online. So stand up, tell us your name, and tell us what she stands for. Scholastica tells us that she stands for See Her Empowered, and she got it. Can we give her a round of applause? And so Elizabeth, Scholastica is going to be the one taking our first prize. And please note down, the team, please note down. We will get a session to present these gifts, especially to those in the room. And if you're online, we will be taking your details. So if you're online and you're answering the question, we do have some answers. And I do want to see or to hear from you what exactly it is that you have. And we have a first response from online from Liz Getata. She also responded and said, See Her Empowered. So Elizabeth Getata, please, let's have your contacts, and we will be getting to you one of the raffle prizes, a package from Absa Bank. So thank you. Let's also put our hands together for Liz Getata. Joy Mukami also, I see you answered right, and since my team is giving me your name, I suppose you also get to win an award. So that's another third one. So great. Let's put our hands together for Joy Mukami. Awesome. So next we're going to go to getting to hear from our panel of speakers this day. We do have a very powerful panel in the house. And it's a panel of 3 ladies and a gentleman. Yes, we must hear from the men too. As we seek to empower women, we must also hear from the men. We want to know that they're supporting us, he for she. But let me start off with Dr. Ruth Kinoti. As we put our hands together for Dr. Ruth Kinoti, I was chatting with her yesterday and I was just amazed. Not only is she a phenomenal woman, but she is a true epitome of what it means to level up beyond resilience. Dr. Ruth Kinoti started off as a teacher. And from her teaching, she told me she grew up in a very peasant family. And she could see that the crops her mother and her grandmother were growing were going to waste. They were not able to get them all to the market. And as a teacher, she looked around, the schools around her, they were buying food, and she went up to the headmaster and said, "Can we sell you some cereals?" That is how Dr. Ruth Kinoti's journey started. Today, she is the MD and CEO of a social enterprise known as Shalem Investment. And they are working with safe, affordable, and nutritious food. They're working with farmers. They're now even into processing. And we'll be hearing a lot more about this and how it's happening for Dr. Ruth Kinoti, commercializing smallholder farmers and providing consumers with safe, nutritious, and affordable food. Aren't you eager to hear from her? Yes. Okay, let's put our hands together for her. Welcome, Dr. Ruth. Awesome. Next, the other panelist that we'll be listening to this morning is a very good friend of mine. I just love her energy. Because even when she has been in what I'd call the lowest of low, she's been so authentic, so real. Gives it, what you see with her is what you get. This is my very good friend, Shiro Waweru Waithaka. Shiro is the owner, founder of Fun Kids, as we used to know it. And thanks to the pandemic, she pivoted, and now she has fun homes. And she'll tell us, there's something else she has just released. I don't want to burst the bubble on that one. I will let Shiro be the one to tell us. But if there is someone who has such a love, like say love, we're in the month of love, deep passion for her country. I remember seeing her hopping on stage with prime ministers. Yeah? How many of you remember that? They were dancing. Yeah? But when she's with the high, the low like us, Shiro is so real, and she really connects with all of us. And we'll be hearing, despite her journey and challenges during COVID, how is she leveling up beyond resilience? So let's put our hands together for Shiro Waithaka. Next, we'll be having Elizabeth Wasuna, and because I already introduced her before, she's the business banking director at Absa. She'll also be joining us because Absa is our host today. We're having conversations about leveling up women in business, and we also want to know, what is the bank doing? Are they also leveling up? And how is this going? So let's put our hands together for Elizabeth. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. Otherwise, we're going to be kicked out of here. All right. And then I was asking him earlier whether he's the thorn in the roses or the rose in the thorns. We have with us Chris Des. He's a visionary, customer-focused, growth-yielding executive and a board leader. He sits in several boards. He's currently Group Director at Bidco Africa. That's where probably a lot of us know him from, but he's previously worked at Kenya Airways and also Kenya Airports Authority, not Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways was there too, I remember, yeah? And he has great experience in leading large teams, being responsible for profit and loss, and also business expansion. We're talking about leveling up, isn't it? And Chris has what it takes with all this. So let's put our hands together for Chris, even as we get to the conversation. So as I get my seat, do we have something playing, or do I go straight? My team, do I go straight? Good. Awesome. So let me start with you, Chris. We're talking about leveling up, beyond resilience. What does this mean to you?
Thank you very much for your kind words, and what a wonderful session today to have such beautiful women leaders at the Sankara. And thank you very much, Absa, for inviting me to speak and to share. So leveling up and resilience, I mean, for all of us globally, we are facing a serious, something that we didn't expect, a pandemic. And the best thing for us is the world is changing, and we are leveling up to a new level of innovation, technology, healthcare, and caring for one another. And resilience has brought us here to this room. And I think that every person here and everyone out there has been extra resilient in terms of being safe. And that is what we will see a big change in our lives. But for us as an organization, for example, if I would say at Bidco Africa, we have continued to work very closely with women leaderships in terms of leveling up. Women make a very, very strong leader, not only in the corporate world, in the board. I've just seen on someone tweeting that when you empower a woman, you empower an entire nation, an entire community, and the future. So women are very, very important in terms of building resilience in the home, in the family, in the corporate world, and in business. So we just signed with the UN Women, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that Bidco Africa, one of the leading organizations, will employ more than 50% women in their, and this is what we want to emulate. Barclays,
Yes.
I heard
Let's acknowledge that.
Thank you. I heard Absa is at 48, if I'm not wrong.
Wow, that's
so
a great
resilience,
commitment.
and we're looking forward to working with women, partnering with women. We are big, one of the largest manufacturer in Africa, and some of our biggest suppliers in our supply chain are women. So we would like more women to be more resilient and to come and do more business with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, let's acknowledge that. That's a very good milestone coming from Bidco, committing to empower women from the grassroots and also employing women, 50%. That is a great one. I should ask you, what are you at right now?
Well, I'm not very sure. I'll have to check with HR, but definitely we're in the double digits, and we will be very close to 50 because we have lots of women. We are in food, we are in energy drinks, we are in spaghetti, we are in oil, we are in healthy hygiene personal care products. We do sanitizers, we do a lot of new products, and most of these detergents, products, most of our users are women, and the line people who are working on the line, and some of the really state-of-art manufacturing lines. The president came to open our industrial park 2 years ago, and the people who run this German bottling plant are Kenyans. And isn't it wonderful to see Kenyans running these magnificent computerized high technology manufacturing plants, and women are part of the team. Thank you.
Awesome. Good to hear that you're moving as women from just being consumers to being part of the business process and the
before I
value chain.
forget, most of the women are our distributors.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, let's give them a hand clap there. So I want to tell you, if you're watching us, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or on Zoom, that you can contribute to this conversation. We want you asking your questions. So I want you, if you want to ask a question to any of my panelists this morning, kindly type your question and let us know who is asking and who you're directing the question to, and we'll take it from there. And if you're in the room, I'll be asking you to put up your hand and ask your question because we want to engage with you. So even as I carry on with the conversation, please remember, engage with us. If you're virtual, if you're in the room, we'll be coming to you. So let me come to you, Ruth Kinoti. I shared a little bit about your beginnings, the humble beginnings. And for me, if that is not an epitome of leveling up and going beyond resilience, then I don't know what is. And so my question to you, Ruth, is what gave you that stamina? What was behind all that?
Thank you, Mercy. Good morning, everyone. What gives me this passion? Number one is responding to deep needs. Like I said, or like Mercy said, first for the people very close to me, going through school in very difficult circumstances. I wanted to see my siblings not going through the same. And as I got this opportunity to influence the place for women, I was very thrilled to see that we could market food for, or agricultural food produce for very many women farmers. Of the 30% or 30,000 farmers we are working with, 67% are women. Mm-hmm. And we have seen a lot of transformation around homes that could not afford food. Now they have more than enough. They are able to sell. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of support from development partners who are interested in growing women as partners. And we have been happy that now we do not look at the women starting as beneficiaries. We do not call them beneficiaries anymore. Mm-hmm. We look at them as partners. Mm-hmm. And they have been able also to look at themselves that way. They are able to ask questions. The pandemic, of course, gave us an opportunity also to show them that we care, because we partnered with several partners, and we got quite a lot of sanitizers, face masks. That time they couldn't even afford face masks because no one had come up with inventions that we could tailor our own face masks. So Mercy, resilience is about us who have even ideas, sharing them with our neighbors, with our friends. As women, we are learning to be good friends in business. We no longer compete. We are talking of cooperation, so that if you have something you can offer your fellow woman, then you look at them as your friends. If your business cannot go down or lower because you have helped, and you cannot be your business or yourself, you cannot not go up because someone else has come down. In fact, when we help others to come up, one way or the other, we have a way of getting help when we need it. So if every woman can go out of her way to truly influence and support, then we will level up whatever efforts we have already invested.
Thank you, Dr. Ruth, for that. I'm hearing, looking around, seeing needs is what really gives you. I know I talked about when you started, but it continues to give you the drive and the passion. and hearing again that women are still at the core. 67% of the value chain you're working with is still women. And the fact that we are not about competing. Yeah? To quote you, it is
Competition.
Co-opetition.
Yes.
Co-opetition.
Yes.
Yeah? And that is an amazing thing, because many times the word in the street, and I call it the word in the street because it's not always true, it says women, we are about bringing each other down. But what Dr. Ruth is telling us is, if you're rising, continue to pull those who are below you. And if you're up there, continue to reach out to raise another woman who needs help. So thank you. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Ruth. So I come to my good friend, Shiro. Shiro, you went through a very difficult time, and here you are now. Are you leveling up? Tell us.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you, Absa, for the invite. It's so nice to dress up in real clothes.
We missed that, didn't we?
And real shoes.
Yeah.
What an honor to be among such phenomenal women who in their own way are surviving and leveling up in the pandemic. Wow, what does leveling up to me mean? It is no surprise or secret that I am absolutely head over heels in love with Africa, because I am Africa and Africa is in me. So when the pandemic hit us, quick background, we used to manufacture furniture products for children. We all know schools closed. We don't know what was happening. And we got media from other parts of the world, and we knew we were finished as Africa, which was a reality. We went into panic. We shut down our business almost for 5 months. We literally closed down. We did not know what to do. And as an entrepreneur and the owner of the business, I just said, Pax, I don't know. I can't even lie. I have any genius or any business school knowledge. However, in that entire time of stillness, we all know what a catapult is, a fair. It's also okay to say you don't know. I think that's part of leveling up. To say you don't know and to be honest and to say you're afraid. But then at the time you have to say, we will come back. We don't know in what shape or form. Honesty as an entrepreneur is critical even to your teams as a leader. Just say you don't know. Just say you don't know. Nobody knew. We've never survived a pandemic. We don't know anybody who has. But knowing as the days went by, and there were very long days, because we kept losing people as well, I just kept panicking because Africa does not have the luxury of time. It became even more apparent with the pandemic. And for me, maybe that then became the rubber in my catapult. And I just said, we need to make it strong. We need to pull back as far as we can. And then we need to shoot forward, because every day that passed, every hour, we realized the discrepancies globally, from the vaccine inequality to trade to everything. And for me, that's what made me level up. And before I was very keen on made in Kenya, made in Africa, the pandemic even made it more of a necessity, because suddenly we can't get things. Stuff is stuck in other countries that manufacture basic things that we need, and we can. So we're sitting here still begging, yet we're brilliant. We have support. We have the need. Daktari has told us it's a need. This is not because it's a luxury item. From basic school desks, we've seen our state of classes in Kenya. And if we here are saying the pandemic affected us, what about them? Food, everything. I mean, really, we begged for masks. We're getting donations of basic commodities. Good people, that's not okay. So leveling up means being honest and candid, dear Kenyans, dear wonderful women, and saying, if we can't even make the things we use and need, then what are we doing? We don't have the luxury of time, dear Africa, and nobody is going to come and do it for us. Let's level up and let's just join together, as she has said, as Chris has said, and we have to feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, educate ourselves. It's time to level up for ourselves, but for generations to come.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Shiro, let's put our hands together for her. What I love about Shiro's experience and sharing is, first and foremost, in order for us to level up, we need to pause. Entrepreneurs, women in business, we need to pause. It is important to take stock. Where are you? What is your capability? And acknowledging even what you do not have, what you do not know, is very key and paramount, because it's only in reflecting that you get to know where you're going. You get to figure out, are you in the right direction, as Shiro has told us. And as she took that moment of pausing and reflecting, I told her, I think, Absa Bank, next time you're doing an ad on Africanacity, I think you have, you have a champion right here in the room, because Shiro speaks and talks and, what do they say, eats, breathes Africanacity and Africa and the capabilities and the potential we have, not just in its people, but in the resources. And she's challenging you and I, as women entrepreneurs, are we finding solutions to respond to the needs in our community and not waiting for others to do that? Let's put another hand together for Shiro on that. So we come to you, Elizabeth, and my question to you is, as Absa Bank, you launched She last year. We're just coming out of a pandemic, and you're talking about empowering. You're talking about empowering women. How is this connected to helping women entrepreneurs to level up beyond resilience?
Thank you very much, Mercy. And once again, good morning to the ladies in the room, the gentlemen as well. Let's forget the in the room as well. Really, it's a conversation that has taken, a number of years, and we've walked this journey as Absa, even as we transitioned from Barclays into Absa, and really knew that we had to position ourselves for women. I think when we started this journey, we didn't know a lot of the disruption that was coming up was yet to come. I mean, remember when we started off, when we were ending 2019, we were hearing about COVID and its issues. It was Wuko in China, yeah? And slowly but surely, it was coming towards us. And I think as an organization, we were then speaking about how do we make sure that women pivot. Remember that keyword, pivoting? Mm-hmm. It became a key word for everybody. And when we were speaking about pivoting, we said, how can we make sure that women are in the room with the right conversation, changing the design of the room, painting it the way they wanted, but really participating. I know in some areas, I know, Shiro, you've said, you can go in and change and bring in your seat. Don't even wait for them to give you a chair. Bring in your seat. Mm-hmm. Stand at the corner, but be in the room. And that was our conversation around pivoting, making sure that women are in the room to have those conversations, feeling empowered enough to be in the conversation, to make sure that they can also contribute, because in that contribution, we were also learning as an organization. We were learning how to interact with women. We were learning that women don't just come in one style. They come in different styles, formats. Even today, I can assure you the different reds that we are seeing in the room, it's not the same. We speak about passionate red as Absa, but I can assure you there are very many versions of red in the room. So that was our conversation when we started pivoting, making sure that we were there. And with that, there were 4 pillars that we spoke about. I have mentioned them in my introduction. Access to mentoring and coaching, which was key because women do need to be mentored and coached. And it's not a bad thing because men do get mentoring and coaching. Mm-hmm. Do you understand why men go to the different meetings that they do? Mm-hmm. It's because there's mentoring and coaching. Mm-hmm. Why do they meet at the golf course? Because there's mentoring and coaching. Mm-hmm. Why do they meet on the 19th hole, which is where the drinks are? There is mentoring and coaching, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So where are women as far as mentoring and coaching? If you're, maybe your inner circle, your chama, the people who you have shai with, that was your mentoring and coaching. But we were saying there is more to that. There is a lot more to that, and women needed to step up. So that was our first pillar, mentoring and coaching. Mm-hmm. Then we had the pillar around networking. because you are used to the network around you. That will be your church. You're talking about, the school that your children go to. But networking goes beyond that. Could you be able to see a woman sitting in a different county, in a different country, and be able to relate with them? So networking was the second pillar that we had. The third pillar was access to markets. Women have a lot of products, and I think we've spoken about it, and I think Dr. Kinoti here is an example. There's a lot of, farming, and we have all this produce coming out. But guess what? We go and we open our little kibanda, we open our little shop, and we start selling. We sell to the people who are coming to us. And yet, there's a market waiting for your products somewhere. And we had no way of connecting. So we said the pillar that we have to concentrate was access to markets, both locally. And sometimes when I talk about locally, it's not just your area. There are different counties. We have 47 counties, ladies and gentlemen. We have 47 counties. Why don't we take part in this? We have a regional market. Why don't we participate? Then if you want to go international, we have that opportunity. But as Shiro said, Africa is our home. Where are we going before we've fed ourselves? We've got to focus in our area. And I think the fourth, and this is something that the women spoke about, as the fourth, towards the end, access to finance. This finance animal that we speak about, how do we make sure that we bring it to the level where, it's not tough words, big words, acronyms. Can women understand it and be able to position themselves enough for them to take advantage of the products and services that organizations have? And when we speak about this, we don't speak from an angle of saying we're doing it alone. There are many organizations that are open to support women, but you have to step out to be supported. So for us, when it came to leveling up, I think the one quote that really summed it up well for us was a quote by Sheryl Sandberg. I know a lot of you have read the book Lean In, a very powerful book that began a lot of conversations for women. But she had a quote that says, "Resilience is the strength and speed of our response to adversity." I'll repeat that. Resilience is the strength and speed of our response to adversity. And we can build it. It isn't about having a backbone. It's about strengthening the muscles around our backbone. Doesn't that make sense, ladies? Yep. Strengthening the muscles around our backbone. Because we do know the pandemic is not going to be the end. There's going to be a lot of challenges, disruptions, and moving forward. But as Absa, we are here to support the conversation around strengthening the muscles, making sure that our products and services are aligned to what you're looking for, making sure that we're open for conversations when and where you need to have them, because this conversation is just not here in Kenya. We have pivoted across Africa. So like you've mentioned, we have Zambia in the room, Ghana in the room, we have SA in the room. So why can't we have this conversation around strengthening those muscles and making sure that we can level up no matter what is thrown at us to make sure that we can graduate our businesses to the next level. So we're here to support.
Wow, wow. Let's put our hands together for Elizabeth. Again, reiterating there the core of why she exists: mentoring, coaching, a support that men have so perfected. Women, we're just good at it when it comes to talking about our babies, talking about the spouses and what they have done or not done. But when it comes to business, when it comes to our career growth, we choose not to consult or get mentored by fellow women. It's a challenge to you. Then we've also heard about networking. And today we're going to have some of that right here in the room, those of you who are with us. Sorry we can't have everybody. We're still trying to observe COVID protocols. But if you're here, I hope you will walk away with a network that will serve you, not just now, but into the future. Then we've heard about access to market. Are you a woman entrepreneur? We've had a lot of conversation, and I know Chris and what they're doing. Shiro is telling us Africa is a place to go. You'll be hearing some things about what Dr. Ruth is doing with her organization. Market, market, market. And then finance coming at the bottom. And I'm sure it's not because it's not important, but more often than not, you find that finance is needed, but we're quick to blame finance, and yet we haven't figured out the other pieces of the puzzle. I would say in the puzzle, finance comes in normally at the end. If you fitted the other parts of the puzzle, this will get you going. And so thank you very much, and well done, Elizabeth, for enlightening us on that. And I like that quote. I'm going to ask that we type it into the chat. The team, please just listen. Elizabeth, could you repeat that quote from Sheryl Sandberg? Because it reminded me of something. The picture of an African woman carrying something on her back. What does she need? Strength, isn't it? Even if she carries on the head, for those communities that do so, if her back was not strong, would she be able to sustain that? And so I find this quote so relevant in our context. And so please, Elizabeth, could you repeat that for us?
Okay, the quote is by Sheryl Sandberg. It says, "Resilience is the strength and speed of our response to adversity. And we can build it. It isn't about having a backbone. It's about strengthening the muscles around our backbone."
There we go. We need to strengthen the muscles. And please, those of you who are tweeting, tweet that quote. Tag us. Absa Bank, I believe, is one of the tags. You can tag at Chris Deers. You can tag at C. Shiro on Twitter. You can tag at Value Connect. You can tag at Achola M. And just tell us, what is it that you're hearing? What are some takeaways that you're hearing? I've been saying I want to engage even with the audience that is with us virtually and in the room. And we do have some questions that have come through. And I'm going to try and pair up the ones that are relevant to the particular panelists. So, Chris, we do have several questions actually for you. So I'm going to take them one by one. And Irene Chesire, who's watching us online, wants to know, how can she get to be a supplier of Bidco? That is one. And also that is tied to what Lucy Mwenitel is also asking, Chris, how can the women be empowered to get into Bidco as suppliers? Because for starters, to get a tender, it's a challenge. I believe she's speaking from experience, but you'll tell us how she can unlock that because she wants to level herself up. And Hannah is also asking, same question to you, Chris, many questions to you. Do you have the figures on how many women you have at the top, C-suites at Bidco? Let's take those first.
Thank you very much. All very good questions, and thank you very much for the engagements. I'm very impressed, Liz, Shiro, and Dr. Kinothi, and Mercy. And I would like to hear lots of more engagement with all of you in the room and out there online. First and foremost, if you would like to follow through with this conversation in terms of being our suppliers, you can look at our website and our email address is there. And I'm more than happy. Dears Chris Africa is my Twitter handle. You can drop me a line and I will quickly share my number and welcome you to our boardroom, and we could have a conversation to sign suppliers contract. Naturally, all large organizations do have policies and checklists and requirements. So let me just give you the opportunities, because I'm sure everyone is in this room and out there listening to what are the great opportunities you can partner with us. So I will speak from two fronts. One, from becoming a supplier of Bidco, is come and see us. We've got backward integration agribusiness contracts for women leaders who can aggregate farmers or who are farmers, like Dr. Kinothi mentioned. We buy soya, sunflower, we buy wheat germ, maize germ. So we use this raw material to extract the oil, and then the byproducts are mixed in for super nutrition animal feed. Again, back to agribusiness, we produce animal feeds. So we would like to buy, throughout the year we buy soya, sunflower. We have got agronomists. We can help you through to understand yield, product, fertilizer, crop rotation. We will help you with the process of pricing, guaranteed pricing. We could pick it up from your farm, and we could make sure that you are paid and given revenues that will be able to go on to help other communities, your families, and other farmers so they can scale up. So what Bidco is very interested is not only you being a supplier, but being a woman who is empowered to bring more women together and then to be able to contribute to agriculture. Kenya is a leading agricultural country. We have wonderful land, rainfall, so we can produce and buy Kenya, build Kenya, Shiro, buy Africa, build Africa. So the other thing is the Africa Continental Trade Agreement is a big opportunity for women leadership. What I must say is BIDCO, for example, is in 25 countries in terms of product manufacturing. So how do you women leaders take advantage now and start, because there's a high market access and high market demand for products and services across Africa. This is going to be the next big opportunity for women to create entrepreneurship, and women are wonderful entrepreneurs. So look at the Africa continental landscape with Absa, with other leaders, with manufacturers like us. So in terms of women at C-suite, we have very high senior women in our heads, our head of legal, we have a lot of women in our team, but in terms of directors, I'm sure there is space for a woman director somewhere, because we are three men, and the father, Wimal's father, Wimal is our chairman. So BIDCO would look forward to working with women leadership at high level. In terms of my other board appointments, for example, I sit on Astral Aviation Board, I sit on Kenya Airports Authority Board. If you look at the Kenya Airports Authority today, is expanding across the country. We have a new terminal at Jomo Kenyatta. We are building in the Mara. KA is now expanding, Kakamega. So access internationally from all the different towns. Nakuru is going to have a new airport. Diani, the runway is being expanded, so more larger aircraft, more frequent aircraft will come in. As you know, cargo is the next big business for women. A lot of the vaccines, a lot of pharma, a lot of products, electronics are still coming in, and then also women, you can export perishables and other products. So for Astral Aviation, they are also in drones. The next big technology is drones, how you can deliver last mile right to your house. So you can find the opportunities of women coming together with Absa and putting last mile delivery like Alibaba, or coming up as an Amazon, which is huge, huge revenue, not only for women here, but women globally to come together to form something big in Africa. Like I said, the African Continental Trade Agreement will form a lot of demand, supply, and opportunities. So this is where I would like to end, but come and contact us. We will give you the connections. We will be happy to empower you. And then Elizabeth has agreed she will give financial solutions to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for Chris. And thank you for reminding us and educating us about the Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement. Shiro reminded us the market is Africa. If you don't know, can you hear the guys here know it? And where to look for information? They are sharing their Twitter handles. If you don't know, contact them. Yeah? Ask them. It's okay to ask, to say, I don't know. You get the information there, and you will then move on. So that as you're preparing yourself, and something else that Chris said there, which I think is very important, there are structures. There's an order to follow. So do not get upset and annoyed when you hear that for you to become a supplier of BIDCO, or what Dr. Ruth Keynote is doing with Shalem Investment, that you must follow. It's part of doing business. And it informs you. It helps you even become better at what you're doing. So thank you for that. And let's look out for those things, and let's adhere to them and do that. Now, I want to come to the room because I don't want you to feel like you're not with us. So do we have any questions here? Please put up your hand, and we will have a mic coming to you so that we can ask the question. Remember, if there's certain nuggets you want to tweet from the session, please do so. Hashtags is Live2Lead, hashtag Absa, She account, hashtag Women in Business. Use those hashtags. Tag the names that I mentioned earlier on. I'll repeat them again. Tag at Absa Bank, tag at Chris Dias, at Cishiro, at Value Connect. Tag us so that we can see and we can continue to engage with you. Do we have any question here in the room? Or as you get ready, I'm going to come to you. Allow me to read another one from online. And Dr. Ruth, this question is for you. Irene Chesiri again is saying she did not quite get she wants a clarification on the co-competition. And I think maybe to make it easier, can we call it collaboration? Yeah, I think collaboration might make it easier to understand. But can you just share with her a little bit more, clarify for her, how are you doing it within the circles that you're working with, moving people from competition to collaboration? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mercy. Competition is about trying to outdo, trying to compare who you are, what you have, what you're doing, and doing all you can to outshine the other person. There's usually very little focus given to yourself. You're only looking at the other person. And in the process, we lose a lot because energy is not focused on where we can achieve results, but it is on destroying what is already being done by other people. Coopetition, and maybe to pick Mercy's words, collaboration, you may not necessarily collaborate, but you're focusing on what you're doing to better yourself, to better your life, to better your business. If there is a chance for the other person to benefit from you, you will not close the door for them. You will not work to put them down. You will let them be. If you can benefit from them, you will not be shy to go and ask, and not to ask craftily, is to go out and say, you're doing a good job. I like your results. How would I improve my results? Because I like what you're doing. You're cutting costs. How can I cut costs? You're improving efficiency. Because when you improve efficiency, costs go down. How can I improve efficiency? That way, there is coopetition. We are giving each other value. We are not taking away from anybody. And actually, even looking at politics of the day and all that, you have seen a lot of mud. When you throw mud, your hands are left dirty. So as women, if we can learn, if I'm not going to help you, I will not make efforts to destroy you. But if I can help, I want to assure you, if that would be your way, help all those you can, in all the ways you can, and you will never regret. But any effort put to bring anybody down, wherever they are, it earns negative results.
Thank you. Thank you for that expounding of the meaning of co-competition. And if you actually read it up, a lot of companies post-pandemic have actually gone into working together. They may be competitors, but they are working together. They are working together, and one thing you have said, Dr. Ruth, that I'm going to take away is, if I cannot help you, then I'm not going to be the one to destroy you or to bring you down. So if we can have that as a mantra, as women entrepreneurs, I think we can go a long way into leveling up beyond resilience. Now, we do have several questions for you, Elizabeth, and I'm going to try and put them together. And they're coming in fast and furious. But again, can I get a question in the room before I go to the fast and furious that's coming? Are we saying that people online are the ones more engaged than we are? Okay. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. We come to you with a mic. And if you are slow, I move to the guys virtual. Elizabeth. There's a hand? Oh, great. Sorry, the pillar. I couldn't see. Please stand up, tell us your name, and ask your question. Let's know who you're asking. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name's Alima Wari. And my question is back to Chris. You mentioned how we can get access to be suppliers, but I like to seize the moment. I would like to see the contact, if possible, on the line, on the chat line. Then it helps us to know exactly where we are moving from here, so we don't waste any time. Thank you.
Okay, great question there. I think, Chris, what she's asking is if we can just put, and he said his Twitter handle. So the team that is helping us with the virtual engagement, could you just post Chris's Twitter handle there? They can reach you.
Yeah.
Then you mentioned something else, please.
Mercy, it's all right if I can. If you want my telephone number, I'll give you. But Diaz Chris Africa is Twitter, but email is chris.diaz@bitcoafrica.com. I promise to reply you immediately. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for that, and thank you, Chris, for agreeing to do that. We know in this Kenya, it's not many people who are willing to be reached directly, so we appreciate you for doing that. So I do have some questions for you, Elizabeth, and Akinyi Beche is asking, how do you carry out the first pillar on mentoring and coaching? Do you have a criteria that is followed in getting participants interested in the same? I see, thank you, Agnes Yator, for acknowledging and repeating the quote that Elizabeth read out to us. Lucien Jerry says, financing should not be a monster language to us women. Thank you. And we do agree with Lucien Jerry, isn't it? Yes. Finance need not be a monster, so thank you for that. Jocelyn is also asking, do you have trainings for women in business? I believe it's a question directed to Absa, and I will keep that there. And then one more from Olivia Otieno says, Absa needs to preach and actually implement the access to finance or unsecured loans. When I went to the branch, I was still being asked for security, citing my construction business as a risky one. Please clarify and tell us whether this is the case or not. So thank you, Olivia, for sharing your experience there. And you've asked it at the right forum. We're going to get the answer. Elizabeth, why don't you respond to those for now?
Thank you very much. And thank you for each and every question that we've received. So when we come to mentoring coaching, it's one of the pillars that we've spoken about. And every so often, we've had webinars, especially in the last year. We started off with a webinar on moving businesses onto a digital platform. And then we had a mentoring session. So mentoring session, we opened it up to another, other than the first session where we were talking about digital, embracing digital platforms. We then went into a mentoring and coaching session where people were able to ask questions. You know, one of the things we find with the women is that we don't ask questions a lot when there's a big room. But when we come into a smaller room, you're more comfortable having those conversations. There is no judgment, you know, we're able to be free with each other. So those mentoring and coaching sessions took place in that manner because, again, with COVID, we didn't have an opportunity to open out and have physical conversations. Today, we find ourselves in a different dispensation, to the extent where we are now opening up to having more one-on-one conversations. So first and foremost, the mentoring and coaching, the bank has taken an opportunity to partner with another organization, ITC, but also with IFC. We had training across the board. Every branch, we have a champion to be able to have a conversation with the women. And the conversation will be, what do you need? Because once you speak about what you need, whether it is mentoring and coaching, networking, all these things, we plug you in because there's a business club that my very able Susan Situma, who's the head of SME, is running. That is a conversation also where we mentor and coach. We bring the right people in the room. So a lot of businesses, again, have questions around, you know, KRA. How do we have, you know, conversations around governance? You know, this is where we have a lot of SMEs and women businesses form a great proportion of those collapsing within 3 years, simply because we don't have proper governing structures in place. How do we comply with government regulations? So we bring those sessions in, especially in the business club, and then we open it out to the various people to join in. That is one. Two, when we partner with organizations like Unilever, or GIZ, which is something that we did recently, or Melanin Capital. We then opened it out and said, can we have mentors and coaches who want to apply, who think that they have skills, who want to apply to support women, to be their big sisters, to be their, their support system. So we're doing it both ways. One, we provide the ones that we can, mentor and coach, but also we call the women into these sessions. I know we had a lot of women, logging in and saying, putting their hand up to support, and we'll continue that process because I think in that conversation we get a lot more done. So yes, there's opportunities both ways. Yes, we will mentor and coach, but we will also ask of those who are stronger and able to support us in those conversations. So keep looking out in our conversations, on our websites, or tag us along on Twitter. You will see a lot of those coming through. The second one was trainings in business. Yes, we do conduct those, and I think I mentioned a few of them. Under SME and Business Club especially, we have lined up a lot of training under business. We've even tried to go even more granular in terms of, can we speak to sectors? There are sectors like the commodity sector, the agri sector, the manufacturing sector. So every so often, we have partners like Chamber of Commerce. I know in Nairobi in a short while, we'll be having a lot of those sessions where we'll be training businesses, down to things, simple things, even as cash flows. I mean, we want to demystify these things. How do we make sure that banks can acknowledge you, can see that you are progressing? What are the things that we're looking forward to? I know, Mercy, we spoke a little bit about this earlier. What do women do with their money? Where does it go to? Because I know we sell, then somehow money disappears. We don't see it in the bank. How can we see more of it? You need to know our language, and we know your language for us to be able to collaborate better. So how do we keep track of your cash flows as we speak? How do you project moving forward? What are the things that we need to put in place to make sure you're resilient? Ladies and gentlemen, the idea is to make sure that you're resilient to whatever comes your way, so that when there's a problem, you know where to reach out to. So that is a training in business that we have. As far as access to financing, ladies and gentlemen, when you go into, you have a conversation and somebody tells you, and this is something that, happens across, whichever business, somebody tells you no, what do? You don't stop there. You keep pushing forward. Understand that, yes, we do have, we will say we have unsecured facilities up to 10 million. You need to understand the terms and conditions that come along with that. You need to understand how to access it. A lot of times, what we've found and it's not just the women, even, SMEs, you have a need, you think we have a product, and you come in and say, I want this. But did you come in and ask, what do I need to have prepared to enable me have that particular product? That conversation, ladies and gentlemen, needs to take place, because in that preparation, you will then go back, and when you have your proposal done, it is done to perfection. You are done, you know now what needs to be done. And you'll go back and say, whoever it is, I have A, B, C, D lined up. Can I now access this? Yeah? And therefore, you move forward. I'm not saying that, we can conclusively have a conversation, even at this forum around the lady Olivia, but I would encourage her to reach out. I'm here, Susan is here. We have a lot of people who are able to, unravel what it is that we were saying in that particular conversation around construction, and come up with a solution and come up with a way forward. Because I think the idea is you might be told no for now, but it will empower you to have the next conversation, isn't it? Yeah. So you don't always get what you want, but it empowers you into the next conversation. So Olivia, reach out. Please reach out. I know we have our Twitter handles. We have the branches. Please reach out. My email address is as simple as elizabeth.wasuna@absa.africa. Susan's will also say the same. It is susan.situma@absa.africa. As long as you know our two names, absa.africa becomes the usual. And we're normally ready to support you, ready to have a one-on-one conversation, really give you what you need to be able to pivot and level up in this era of being resilient.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm loving this conversation because you are getting the direct contacts of who to even share your concerns with. So please, make use of them and let them work for you. Shiro, I see Nelly Kinyanjui is acknowledging and saying, Shiro, I love your unique signature look that encapsulates your brand. And I want to ask here, because this is so important for us as women entrepreneurs, the branding aspect of it. Can you speak to that, Shiro?
Thanks, Mercy, for that. It's deeper than branding. I don't know who came up with that word, but it's the English version, maybe. It's
English has few translations.
yeah, and unfortunately, they then confuse us as women.
Yes.
Not because we don't understand, but many times I'm told I look too African. I dress very African. And it puzzles me because the person saying this is African. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be? Right? As opposed to being what? Yeah. So many times, even in the banks I go, they're like, what's your other name? I'm like, 10. They're like, no, the other one. And I hold up cues because we argue a lot. I'm like, 10. They're like, it's not possible. You must have another name. And I'm like, I don't because I'm not British. I'm me. And people get really confused. So I think historically we were distorted. So what then happens is we forget love of self. So we don't have to be we don't have to call it branding if you're comfortable in who you are. It's not branding. It's just being you, right? But we want to give it a term so people get confused. You think you have to get a consultant to brand you. Be you. Do you. That's the branding. You don't have to wear shoes that you can't walk in. If you want to paint your face in the morning on a Wednesday, get up and paint your face on a morning on a Wednesday.
As Shiro
it's
has
your
done,
face.
you know?
Be you, ladies. It's not Kizungu Mingi. There's no book. If your jeans and your sneakers. At work yesterday, one of my ladies, she's amazing, and we're on our feet a lot. And I told a young lady, your shoes are cute, but you're going to break your back. And not on the account of work. Women, we wear the wrong shoes. I told her, please stay. And it's not a birthday party. Yeah. It's not a birthday party.
You know?
So honestly, but what happens, it then frees me. It frees me completely. But it also makes people remember me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If not for anything I say.
The lady who had painted her face.
So I will just say, and it does get you when people see the confidence in you, loving who you are. That becomes the key that unlocks doors you never knew existed.
That's true.
I have been with Sheryl Sandberg. I have been with Boris Johnson, Michelle Obama, to name but a few.
Yes.
But that's
And
not
you're still
about
you.
bragging. It's they took me as I am,
Yes.
with the way I look, but because people want you to be you. If you come to us for partnerships work and you are you, I love you immediately. Because then I know what I see is what I get.
Yeah.
But when we are not us and we are, as we are called, kigeugeu, then there's a problem, and women, we struggle with trying to find who we are. And it's not your own doing, it's because society makes you think your kinky hair is bad or your whatever look is too dark. And it's a problem with the media and society. And I am intentional, even with my children, my daughter to know that her hair will shrink if it's raining in Uganda.
Yes.
It will not flow in the wind as she sees on TV. So I do this every day so that other women and other African girls can say, it's okay. And even the men, they look at me like, what? How are you walking around like that? People ask me, who allowed you? And I always ask, who is to stop me? So, good people, be you and do you.
So there you have it from Shiro. Be you, do you, and I will tell you something because I've been close to Shiro. When she does her, it also opens her up for her creativity to flow. So it is so powerful, and you want to do that. I think our time is almost running out. And there's a very important question here which I want us to respond to. Wamboi Kemboi is asking, I'm a milk vendor. My question is if I could get market to supply Absa. And since keynote is into food, is there an opportunity for me to supply, please? And I want us to clarify here, because Dr. Ruth, as I spoke to you and got to know you, there was a story before you encountered Absa that would help Wamboi know that you're not supplying the food to Absa first and foremost. And there was even a journey before you encountered Absa. Could you please enlighten her very briefly so that we can be able to wind up?
Okay, thank you for that question, and thank you for your interest, Wambui. Listening to that kind of a question, I imagine you have a dream, and that is where you begin. You may not sell the milk to Absa today, because Absa will not most likely buy milk because they are selling money, but you will be able to sell the milk to the cooperative societies that are processing it. Because the secret in growing in agribusiness is to be able to add value. So if Wambui, you're able to hold your hands and link yourself to other people who are producing milk, you would be able to aggregate, to put together your milk, to put together your needs on how to improve your cows' production, and then you can either form a cooperative and start adding value to your milk with the help of training from Absa. Absa, as a bank, has really worked with us from a very small business, and they have supported us from as little as maybe the first loan we may have borrowed was not even 50,000. And they have grown with us to where we are, and made us an attraction to other partners, because when you, someone dares support you to grow, many others see you. So as Wambui or Shiro, yeah, as Wambui asks about Absa, Absa will help you go into value addition. But just like Elizabeth said, it does not happen pap. Because resilience is not about today. It is a journey. Mercy asks me to talk about what I have gone through to grow our business from a small business to where we are. It is tough. You need all these partners, and you need a financial partner who is willing to work with you. It's just that they also have to take care of the money. So your idea might be great, but they will not just release all the money to you then, because it would also surprise you to realize that if you get that money, you may not even know how to use it. So yes, milk is a very, very good business opportunity because populations are growing, but to grow a business takes planning, takes, a consolidation of ideas. So let that idea be supported by a mentor like Mercy, like the mentors in the bank. Just go and be open to them. I have realized, like Shiro is saying, when you are yourself, you get a lot of support. And one of the ways of being yourself is actually walking into that bank and telling them, I have not done this before, but I believe it works. And I feel down inside me that I have what it takes. Then they will listen to you, and actually you might discover that there are already people who are doing what you're doing, and you can partner and do it together. Thank you.
Before you stop there, quick one, Dr. Ruth, someone here wants to know, Joy Mukami wants to know, how do they get in touch with your organization? They would like to, she says, Dr. Kinoti, how do we, as Africa Women in Business Advisory Network, reach out to your organization? So maybe you can also tell us, and the team can also type that into the chat so that people know how to reach you.
Thank you. I am over 50 years old. I am not very good with Twitter. But also...
An email will do.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, my mic? Oh, it's off. Oh, okay.
We can hear you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So hashtag and all that, I may not know, but I do WhatsApp, I do emails. We have a website, www.shaleminvest.co.ke. That has our address, so you can easily contact us. I have a number that houses WhatsApp, and it rings much of the time, so because of the farmers and the other business partners, but I will always respond to a message, 0723 151 405. It is the only number I keep. So, and I will really look forward to being of help to anyone I can help. Just like I said, it is one of the things, and I'm so happy Mercy thinks it can be a mantra, then I will take it even more seriously, and I would like to influence any one of us, go out and try and help. And I want to assure you, as you assist someone else, you will discover how wealthy you can be, because you will be, growing yourself in the process.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Ruth. So I want to get a parting shot as we conclude this fireside. The questions are many. We could carry on until tomorrow, but in the interest of time, I would like us to wrap up. You've already had what the conversation is. We do have over 200 of you tuned in on Zoom. We do have those of you on Facebook Live and on YouTube channels, and we truly, truly appreciate that you're able to join us this morning. So as a parting shot, I'm going to ask that our panelists here give us a parting shot in terms of what they would want the women in the room, the women and men, because I've also noticed some of the chat comments are actually from men, and we thank you for being also with us and supporting us in this venture, because we cannot walk alone as women. So I want, in the parting shot, could you tell us what is the one takeaway you want the women in the room and those watching us virtually that they can take that will be able to help them level up beyond resilience? Chris, we'll start with you.
Thank you very much, Mercy, and it's wonderful hearing everyone contribute. The online following is quite huge. Well done, Elizabeth and your team. It's good to reach out to women globally online. For the women here and all the participants and the ones who will carry on to build this conversation, mine is to say is be inspired and be resilient. Women are wonderful leaders. When you work with them, very structured, and you think outside the box. So for us, my parting shot is think outside the box and build new partnerships. The world is going digital. You have to be digital in your business now in terms of reaching and growing globally. So to grow globally, my parting shot is the inspiration is going digital, building partnerships. But I want to remind you one thing, like the largest organization started small, so be simple, be humble, and build your steps and grow, building a strong network, because that network not only becomes your consumers, they become your brand ambassadors. And the last thing is when you're using your leadership and your management as women, you can learn from great companies like Toyota and other big successful organizations. They use something called Kaizen. Kaizen is continuous improvement. It's a Japanese way of doing management, and women who are doing your business in whatever aspect, be it in the home, be it corporate, be it in your other business that you do, please use Kaizen, which in the Americans call it lean management. Because in these pandemic times and beyond the pandemic, we will change, we will evolve to be very lean. And lean doesn't mean that you cut costs, but lean means you reduce wastage. So you remove wastage from your leadership, your management, and I'm very sure my parting shot, Mercy, Liz, Shiro, Doctor, and everyone here, it's been wonderful engaging with all of you. You will be more successful. God bless, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Round of applause there. So let's come to you briefly, Dr. Ruth. What is your parting shot? And especially speaking to that woman entrepreneur who's at a place where she's beginning and is beginning to navigate her way through. What would you say to her?
Thank you, Mercy. To any woman who's either starting because your business went down or you have a dream that you would want to further, I would like to encourage us to start. Just don't keep on mark timing and rolling in the mud and crying or regretting because it happened. It can only remain in the past for you to use that as a stepping stone and move on. Number two, encourage inner growth. That growth that propels you forward every day so that you keep on focusing on that which you want to do every day. I like Maxwell a lot, and one of the things that has kept me going, especially when it looks difficult, is he says if you want to cut a tree, a big tree, a small tree, take the axe or the panga, for those who have never seen an axe. Start cutting 5 times first day, 2 times second day, but cut it every day. Some trees will take 10 years, some trees will take 2 years, some trees will be done then, but it will finally be cut down. So we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Ruth. Shiro, what's your parting shot?
Do not be afraid to start again, and start where you are. But more importantly, women, as much as we all seek mentorship, and thank you, Absa, for providing, could we also buy from each other? Could we commit to buy 70% of what's in our homes from another woman every shopping opportunity you get? We're quick to blame organizations, challenge them why they don't have women at the top, but we ourselves are as guilty. In our homes, we don't buy from women, you know, your own friends, or just even a kiosk. Somebody who can make amazing chapatis in her house does not have to own a factory. We all eat chapo, sometimes twice a day, right? Women should not be made to feel inadequate because they don't have a factory. If she's in her kitchen, support her, be the best chapati maker in the world, okay? And then please don't ask for discounts. Please, it irks me to no end. Women provide a quality product. It's tougher for them. The supply chain is not as nice. When you're in the supermarket, you swipe, you pay with M-Pesa without flinching. But when it comes to a woman's business, oh, Biamo Africa, I can get this somewhere else. Don't do that, because you are part of the problem and why women don't succeed. Because if you buy 70% from women, they are then bankable. When they go to the bank sees they have money and that they're trading, even if it's 5 bob every day, right? So help women make the load lighter. Entrepreneurship for women is a struggle. I know no other life, but we as women must become intentional and remember we don't have the luxury of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shiro. Let's put our hands together for Shiro. And Elizabeth, as you give us the parting shot, there's a comment by Elizabeth Wandera who wants to know, Absa, she says, it's a comment, she says, Absa needs to reduce the bottlenecks of any activity as a business account, especially in the digital age. Just make a comment on that as you give us your parting shot, very briefly.
So
thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you hear? Yes.
Yes.
So I think what our commitment is as Absa is to walk the journey with the women, yeah? And we are open for feedback. We're open for conversations. We don't kid ourselves to say that we will not change. We are constantly evolving to make sure that we're there for women across board. So your feedback, ladies and gentlemen, is so important to us. You might think that you will upset us, but you know what? Feedback is a gift. It's a gift we accept because we want to walk the journey moving forward. It's not a personal attack on me. It's not a personal attack on any of the ladies in the room. It is an opportunity for us to do better. So we embrace feedback. Some of the times I've seen, on feedback on the different social media platforms, we don't take it negatively. We only know that you're still engaged with us and you want us to do better. You expect us to do better. So thank you for the feedback. We're here to support and we will move forward. I think for me, the parting shot for me is we need to understand what this word resilience means. And I'm hoping that in the different languages that we speak across the room, across the country, across Africa, we can be able to bring it down to who we are. So what am I saying? For instance, in Swahili, do we know what resilience means? Because, the closer you are in terms of understanding the word resilience, the better it is for you. You interpret it in different ways. So I picked the word in Swahili, ujasiri, Ujasiri is resilience in Swahili. And for me, resilience means that there will be some good times and there'll be some bad times. But you know what? Even when there are bad times, you have the support. You know where to look for the support. And I think that is where we position ourselves as Absa. We are here to support the conversations. We want you to be enabled. We want you to have these conversations early enough, even as you walk this journey in business. Sometimes when we find a lot of the women businesses and SMEs and a lot of other businesses, it's not just women-denominated businesses. You've gotten to a certain place, but somehow there's things that you may have missed out on as you moved forward. We are here to support those conversations without judgment. We must make sure that at least if there's one person in the room that has been able to have a better conversation in terms of trade, in terms of networking, in terms of financing, I think we'll be happy. We will sleep better. But the idea is to influence, because leadership is about influencing, isn't it, ladies? You have learned, there is more to learn. There are people who can support you in that learning. For us at Absa, our doors are open across the 85 branches we have to have that conversation and to see how we can be able to propel you and support you in growing your business. So just before I end, I thought it would be important to ask the ladies of Absa who are sitting in the room to stand up and so that you acknowledge the fact that we don't just speak, we actually tunatenda the women in the room from an Absa perspective. Yeah? Can you see?
Let's give them a round of applause. They say they're 48%.
48% of the workforce is women.
Yes, and they're well represented in the room. We acknowledge you. If you're a woman in the room, I want you to mark them, because this is where the conversations will be happening. If you cannot identify at least one of them to speak to while you're here, you have missed an opportunity, and the loss will be yours. So let's put our hands together again for them. And thank you, Elizabeth, for leading from the front. We appreciate you. So we have come to the end of our fireside chat. I believe you have found the conversations to be very engaging, and so let's put our hands together as our panelists find a place to sit. And I still have giveaways, lots of giveaways, raffle items. Please proceed. I have lots of, yes, let's give them a hand of applause. The 200 plus people on Zoom, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, we do have giveaways for you. I still have 5 packages from Absa to give away. I do have a ticket that I want to give away now. And I've just asked the team to share with me who has been the one person who has engaged most on Zoom, so that we can be able to acknowledge them, and I'll actually give them the first ticket for them staying engaged with us and moving us forward. The same time, I will be asking a question. How many branches does Absa have countrywide? And if you're in Absa, this question is those ones you say terms and conditions do not apply. Or if you're related to somebody in Absa, this does not qualify. Okay, I see your hand up here.
Hi, my name is Penny, and I think you have 85 branches.
Is she right? Yeah. Elizabeth actually just said it. So she will get a package from Absa. Let's put our hands together. I want to give away the raffle ticket, courtesy of Safari Link, a ticket for 2. Where do I start with? Which destination should I start with, Pami? I start with Ukunda. So that's to Diani. Raffle ticket for 2 to Diani. I want to give it to somebody who's online. So can I get a name? Yes. I want a name of the person who was most engaged online. Team, please give me that name, and then we'll give that ticket to them. Caroline Joroge, I see you were online, and you did get the right answer, 85 branches. So you will be getting also another Absa pack in that regard. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, awesome. I'm seeing more raffle tickets are rolling in. So you have to be nice to me. We will also be adding to the raffle tickets dinner for 2 at Grace Steakhouse at Sankara, which is where we are at right now. So we will be also giving away that shortly. So I want to give away this ticket before we move on. Team, can I get a name? Person most engaged online? I can pick a name. Am I allowed to? Because I can tell you. But there, Farida, Farida was very challenged by your comment about joining the board of directors. So she's working hard towards that. I see she was very engaged in the conversations. And so was Irene Chesire. And I'm told Irene Chesire has been most engaged on the virtual platform. And so Irene Chesire, we will be giving you the ticket for 2, courtesy of Safari Link to Diani. So please do share your contacts with us, and we will be acknowledging you. Remember, I still have 2 more tickets to give away, 1 to Lamu, 1 to Malindi, courtesy of Safari Link. And we also now have also dinner for 2 at Grace Steakhouse at Sankara. We'll be giving those away. So I want to go to the next session. And the next session, allow me to step down because I need to invite our next speaker. Our next speaker is a lady I have admired. I started watching her and seeing her from when I was very young, as I was growing up in my career path. Then I was fortunate enough to get close to her and be able to experience the energy and the fortunes that she's all about. And she will be giving us a brief address this morning, and her name is Jennifer Barasa. She's a vivacious market extraordinaire, gold digger, female champion, barrier breaker, visionary voice, digital financial services expert, and a graduate of the University of Nairobi. Do not let her hair cheat you. She is an expert. She is an expert in digital financial services. Can we put our hands together for Jennifer Barasa? She's an amazing woman. Let's hear what she has to tell us this morning in terms of briefly her journey of resilience, yeah, and what it means to level up. So here we go. And I'm coming back, huh? Note, I have intentionally left the questions hanging so that I come back and ask them to see whether you remember. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mercy. Thank you so much for those good comments, and thank you so much. I want to say good morning to everybody. I really feel honored to be here to give this keynote speech, and I want to thank Absa, Susan, Elizabeth, and all the Absa people. My journey with Absa was there a few years ago, although I no longer bank with you, but I think I might as well come back. So I've not written a speech because I was requested just to
talk about myself and my journey in business. I've been in business for the last 27 years, started 1995. So that one I really don't need to jot anything down. It's in my head. So I started my business in the sitting room of my house. It was tough because I didn't have an office then. And how did I start my business? Believe you me, I only needed 30 shillings to start that business. Why did I only use 30 shillings? Because the rest of the things were in my head, my brain. You know, that it was, the ideas were inside the brain. So what do? Those days of you who do not know, there were only things like copy bureaus. So I had the idea. I used my sister. She moonlighted by typing the proposal for me on some 3 pages. Then I went to a photocopier and they did 3 photocopies, a set of 3 photocopies. And I started hitting the streets of Nairobi, literally, but not really the streets of Nairobi. I used, can hardly hear me? Yeah. Okay. Oh, you couldn't hear me? I hardly used money to go places. However, my networking, is it now clear? The networking. And what were those networking? Why the networking is very important. Then I started knocking on the doors of people I worked with. I worked with, at Boots Pharmaceutical. I used to be their sales manager before I left. And people kept on telling me, my colleagues, that, you know, Jennifer, you could start business, go into business. But I was not ready to get into business. I was very happy to drive the big cars that I had. There was a company car. I went out, I worked for Johnson & Johnson as a new business development manager. I was very comfortable. I then joined SmithKline Beecham as the country manager for Tanzania, and they gave me a big Pajero. And those days there were not so many women driving Pajero. So I was very comfortable in my skin and whatever I was doing and earning good money. But then the company decided that they don't want to go any longer to Tanzania. So I was declared redundant. And that shocked me. I cried and cried. If I can talk like Aluya, I was so upset that why they let me go. It was not my, but they paid me well, gave me money to set me off. I went. Then I joined another company and in advertising. That was McCann Erickson, and I was in charge of brands like for EABL. While I was there, again, a lot of politics happened in the company. And I was let go. And it's not easy to be let go because I know I'm good in what I do. So my resilience said, watu wataniona. They think I'm not good, I'm going to start a business. And I started that business. It's we are in about 17 African countries. Right now we're operating in exactly 7 because of COVID. And that's how I started my business. And I started, like I said, in my sitting room. And that particular time, I didn't have a computer, I didn't have a printer. So after some time, I went out and bought a second-hand computer called Compaq. They are no longer there anymore. I don't know if you have heard of them. Then I bought myself a printer called Lexmark. I'll never forget. And every time I called on, I knocked on doors, and I came home. And that particular time, I was the founder, the group CEO, finance director, sales representative, messenger, cleaner, everything put in that, everything, so on. And now I knocked on some doors, and I talked to a friend of mine, I don't mind, I know she won't mind me mentioning her name, Susan Omanga. That time she was a manager at Standard Chartered, and she called me to do some businesses. And every time she called me at home, and I used to have a house help. Do you know who used to pick the phone? It was a gentleman. And that gentleman was who? Was a lawyer. So he'll pick the phone and say, Madam is not in. My friends told me, surely, Jennifer, you need to do better than this. So what did I do? I bought myself an answering machine. Those days, you people didn't know they were answering machine. So the answering machine was my secretary. So I went knocking on doors, and how did I scale up myself? I mentioned people that, like Peter Wanjama was my former boss at Boots, opened the doors for me at Kenya Breweries. Why am I saying this, girls or women? Because networking is very important, and keeping friendship with the people you work with. They are the ones who will open the doors for you. I was open the door at Kenya Breweries, which became big business for Top Image. With Peter Anjama, who was my former boss. At Standard Chartered by Susan Omanga, who was my colleague. At Total, we used to do the Total Motor Show. That is Kenny Kiara. At Sarah Lee, that's John Murray. You see, I'm just going on people I worked with who had told me, go out. When I went out, I told them, I've been let go. They told me, but Jennifer, surely, it was just about time you started your own business because you can do it. But what am I saying also? Get into a business that you know something about. Knowledge is very important so that people respect you on whatever you are doing. So I went to a business, what you call, some people call it merchandising, but actually it's BTL, below the line advertising or trade marketing. Something you know, so that you cannot be cheated. You are the expert in that area you talk, and people have a respect for you. Yeah. Then, of course, as we went on, things were very difficult. Although it was easier those days because the terms of financial terms, let's say, were that we used to insist you get 50% deposit with the LPO, with your LPO. So it was very easy how we, that time, how we costed the product, at least gave us money. And as the business opened up, people abused it, and now it stopped. Nobody gives up 50% deposit because people abused it. They got the 50% and it disappeared. So when I started my business, I didn't go looking for finances because the LPOs covered whatever we were doing. Another thing is that we should be seeking help. I sought help when I don't know something. I network. I'm not afraid to ask questions. Women, sometimes we are afraid to ask questions. Ask questions when we don't know. I asked questions and I sought help, and I'm the type who has a yes attitude. If you came and asked me in my area if I can do this, I say yes. And then I'll go out and look how best can I do it. Don't shy away. We need to have that yes attitude, a positive attitude. One thing I also want to mention that when I started my job, I also fasted for 40 good days. So religion, your God is very important. May I have some water, please? That is very, very, very important. I had an anchor on God. And I remember in 1995, I used to ask myself, will I be there in 2000? Where will I be in the year 2000? And I used what my mother taught me, the Lord's Prayer. Every time we went, we had to pray in the morning with my daughter, just the Lord's Prayer to take me wherever I wanted to go, and it has really worked, having knowing that there's somebody high above there that who has helped me and so on. Then also, as we have gone on in business, there are a lot of men, there's a lot of competition, there are fly-by-the-night agencies, or I call them briefcase agencies. The entry to barrier is so little. But we also formed our own girls' club with some of my friends. Because, you know, there are sometimes you will pitch for businesses in some areas, and most of them are men, are not women. But if at all someone calls me to ask me they want a promotion agency or a BTL agency, I'll give them the name of a friend of mine. She also does, Joanne Mwangi, a good friend of mine. We are competitors in the same business, but if she cannot do it, I say, no, please don't go anywhere else. Just use Joanne Mwangi. Joanne Mwangi, when she gets a business, no, don't go anywhere. Just use Jennifer Barasa. And I'm not afraid to mention these names because I just want to appreciate the women that who have very, very instrumental in my life. And another thing I tell people, don't call ourselves Juakali. You are not in the Juakali industry. We are professionals. I'm not sitting out there in the sun to call myself I'm a Juakali. Yeah. Somebody's agreeing. We are professionals. I run an agency, a BTL, an advertising agency. And when I meet people and they ask me, yes, I tell them, I run the leading below-the-line advertising agency in this country. You have to sell yourself, no one else. Don't be shy. Oh, no, I'm just in Juakali. I'm doing this. We shoot ourselves in the foot. Tell them what we are doing. And for a long time, I used to tell people, I'm the leading below-the-line advertising. And people would say, Jennifer, she's a talker. She likes, and I just see if she likes talking about herself. Come 2008, top 100 medium-sized companies, top images number 10. The following year, runner-up, 2012, Business Woman of the Year, East Africa Business Woman of the Year, even before people like Keroshe came on board, Wakina Jinadine, Jennifer Barasa was there. The confidence, what I'm trying, have confidence and take your business wherever you are by having having confidence, ask questions and so on. So, and when I'm the type of a person, when you fall down, pick yourself quickly and move on. And that's what I did. I've fallen down many times. I've not always been successful, but that's the resilience. I pick up myself and say, this is what has happened. When I have issues, problems, I don't mourn over them. After 5 minutes, I start thinking, okay, where did you go wrong? Where can you do right? Then I start going the other way. Even Bitanya, my daughter, asks, Mommy, how do you do it? And I just, maybe it's my character, but because also I see much further, and I call myself, I'm a gold digger. And people say, gold digger, they think I'm a gold. It's not gold. Please get it. It's not gold. I'm a gold digger. And what does a gold digger does? A person who strives to be wealthy, look for, be successful, a person who is ambitious, which I am, a person who has dreams, big aspiration. I was a teacher. I was the first African lady teacher to teach at Lenana School. But I knew being a teacher, I will not wear this kind of gold I'm wearing. I will not be dressed the way I am. I will not be driving the car I drive. I will not be living where I live right now as just a teacher. You know that there's nothing wrong with teaching, because my father was so upset with me when I left teaching, to go to be a Kodak sales representative, to hit the streets of Nairobi, and yet I am his graduate child or daughter. Also, when he couldn't just believe it. First of all, even when I went to university, my father did not want me to go to university. He would have preferred me to get married to one of those rich friends of his. As a second wife, I said, hell no, I want to make my own money, and I went out to make my own money. And later on, he respected me. I said, I can make my own money. I cannot only depend on men. And then one thing that's also has brought me my mom. Although my mom was not very highly educated, but she told me there's something that she told me, somebody will rather deny you food, but not deny you word. Communication, information is very, she knew all these things a long time ago. But also my ambition came out from, I grew up in Eastlands. I'm not afraid to say where I came up from. We were very resilient. We would fight with the men. You know, those when you are wanted, when you are closing school, and you are there, kujeni, ebu jaribu, and so on. So people have always said, that's Jennifer. And you know, and so on. But when I was growing up, I grew up in Maringo, and our neighbor was Odede. Odede was Pamela Mboya's father. And Pamela came back in this country in 1963, and I was a little girl. And I saw this lady, tall, elegant, driving a yellow Volkswagen. I'll never forget. I'd never seen an African woman driving a car. So I went to talk to my mother. My mother told me, Madam, if you want, work hard, read, go to school, you'll also get there. And that's why I went to school. When my father was telling me to get married as a second wife, I said, no, I want to make my own money. And maybe I also wanted to get married to somebody like Tom Mboya, and I only knew that maybe if to do that, I have to go to the university. So my journey, also I'm going to talk about my journey, is that some of the things, like I was telling some of the girls, so that this year, I'm marking a big milestone. I'm turning 70, and that's when I'll write my book, my journey, where I came from, up to here, and my business. And why some people have asked me several times, why is also because when Safaricom was launching M-Pesa in 2006, we started the journey with them in 2006. We did what is called a non-disclosure agreement. They were not so sure why they wanted the brand to go. But I was so sure where I wanted that brand to go. I had gone through the experience. Every time I wanted to spend money home to my parents, I had to go to a place. Some of you, do you know what a place called Machakos Airport? The Kenyans, but those who are online, they don't know. That means in the place where there's the bus stops. I looked for somebody to take that money to Busia. I come from the border of Kenya and Busia. Or I got somebody, a relative, to go drop that money home. It reached, didn't reach, and the likes and what have you. When I sent money by my father through the telegram in the post office, it took him about even 2 weeks to get that money. He went, the postmaster general was not there, or they didn't have enough money. So I came out when I'm the one who came up with some ideas on how to scale up. We worked with Safaricom right from the beginning. 2006 up to date, we are still working with them. Our success scaling up and growing exponentially is through M-Pesa contract with Safaricom. We are the oldest agents who have been working with Safaricom since 2004 up to date. What am I saying? If you do a good job in your business, you'll continue doing your business. When they came calling, they were told go to Top Image. Then our journey started for us to go to a group contract with MTN, to go to Nigeria, Cameroon, Benin, Zambia, Guinea-Conakry, Benin, yes. Then now came Orange, we went with Senegal, Niger, again I've forgotten DRC, Congo Brazzaville, South Sudan. So we've been there, the whole of Africa and so on. And now people want us also to go to Pakistan because we are good, and you have to be good in what you do, girls. Yeah. I tell my people, and I'm not shy to say, I always say, in our conferences, Top Image Africa, I tell them, we are the most beautiful girls on the dancing floor. When it comes to mobile money, that's when we talk about the financial services, DFS, digital financial services, that I've been a keynote speaker in several countries. I've been to Haiti, I've been to Colombia, I've been to Japan, Asia, mentioned, just talking about mobile money, where it is. So, but why could I have gone there? Because I tried my level best to be the best in what I was doing and ensuring that I'm scaling. And I'm very, very, very result-oriented. Sometimes people say I'm a micromanager, but sometimes you have to do a bit of micromanaging because I need to know how things are going on. I tell my staff, my team members, that when things go wrong, I'm the first one to know when things go wrong. Because when the client calls and they know that Mama, some of them call me Mama, I know then they are comfortable. And where there are problems, I give a solution. When the things have gone wrong and you give a solution, the clients will be very happy. I don't like surprises where then a client calls me and they hear I don't know, then say, oh, Mamba Pimearbika. You know, Mama is not even aware of this happening. But the minute they say, yes, I'm aware, maybe it is Elizabeth or Chris Diaz is my boss at Bidco. I've worked with Bidco for so many years. If they call and they know and then I give a solution, they'll be very happy, they'll have no question. So I'm telling us we need to do that. And as I went on, of course, the company was growing big. I asked my daughter to join the company. She told me, oh, no way, you can't afford to pay me. I can't. She was working for Nestle Food, working to Tetra Pak. She never wanted to join the company. But somehow, one day, through prayers, you know, a lot of parents have this difficulty, their children to join the business, how to succeed. But also there's a secret I'll give you, and I'm not even a secret, I've observed. What we do as Africans, we run a business, but we never take our children to our offices or the place where we are running that business. I know friends of mine who are billionaires. From Kikomba, they sell clothes. Their children are driving good cars, they take them to good schools, but those children have never even been there to see what happened. A lot of Asians do very well. When the child is young, they take them to that shop, they work with them in the morning, let them go away, come in the afternoon, and so on. People like Tile and Carpet, I've seen them grow. They used to be on Biashara Street. They used to go to those shops with their father and son. When I see them, I stress them a little bit. They know, oh, no, that's Jennifer has come. I tell we kijana, nakujua tangu zamani tu. Sasa hebu niambie, you know. But that's the kind. We don't take our children. And we take them to good schools. Then when we want them to help us, to succeed us, they are not interested. They know nothing about it. Because right from the beginning, we never introduce them into our business. That's one thing that we need to introduce our children to our businesses so that they understand those businesses they join. Because people ask me, how did you do it? People are so surprised that Bidanya is now running the company. I am now on semi-retirement. And sometimes I joke with her a lot. Sometimes there was a time even I was catching feelings because nobody's calling me. Yeah? Nobody's calling me anymore. I feel so then sometimes I tell, are you sure these people just don't want to see a beautiful space that deal with an old woman like me? However, They are very happy with her. She's very good in what she does. So I thank God that I was able to take her to business. I also talked to her at an early stage. When I lost my job at GSK, she was now going to school. She was going to Green Acres, and Green Acres were paying her school fees at that particular time. I'm talking this because I'm told to talk about my story and so on. And I knew I could not take her to the US or Canada or wherever. And all her classmates were going. I sat down with her and I told her, Bidanya, look here. I don't have money. You know, I'm not working anymore. I'm starting a business. It can be very difficult. But I promise you that once you finish USIU, I'll take you to the US to do her master's. And indeed, I took her to the US to do her master's. She did marketing and brand management and advertising. And that's why now she's able also to run the company very well, because now she was empowered through knowledge and so. But you speak to your children at an early stage. Don't speak to them when they are big. Make them close to you. I took Bidanya to church. She has values. You know, you've never had a scandal on her, and she's a top model in this country, because she knows also her mother, I do not spare the rod, and I will not spare the rod even when she was young. She'll tell you stories how I treated her and so on. I would ask her, bring this. When she brings one, she knows, I would ask her, Bidanya, how many slush should I give you? 10. I ask her later, why do you say? I say, because I know, Mom, even if I tell you one, now that will not know you because it's so on. So you spare the rod, you spoil the child. But again, doesn't mean that we are not friends, we are lovers. She looks down and says, Mom, you are very good. You have helped me appreciate. Sometimes she does things, she says, but you're the one who taught me to be independent. Now, why are you complaining? She's so independent, sometimes I just wonder what I brought myself to. But I also know resilience. So when we talk about resilience, what do I say? Of course, taking care of the situation, like now in COVID times. What does resilience mean to so most people? Controlling the situation, ways to tackle a very difficult situation, problems, and so on. And a lot of people, even in these industries, have done it. The restaurants, what did they do? They decided, since people can't walk to restaurants, what do? We take away. What else did the other people do? So many other things. Of course, also all over the world, we decided that if you run a business, people don't have to go to the office, but people can work they can work from home. And so also that's how do you let yourself, these ladies, the next, how do you become resilient? Is by repositioning yourself, looking at your business, innovation, and saying, how do I make new business from what I used to before? It's important that we look at ourselves within. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Surround yourself with people who are positive, like-minded people, people who drive you, the cheerleaders, not those naysayers who pull you down every time you want to do something. You know? So and then have the fighting spirit. I have a fighting spirit. I'm standing here. I've had 3 operations on my back, on my leg. Somebody messed up my nerves here in this country. But right now, when you see me sometimes, I go places, I enjoy life. Also enjoy life. Life can't be so sad and so on. Sometimes I used to walk with my walking stick. I'm seated there. But now I'm going to a wedding. Things happen. I stand up. I'm getting down. People say, huh? Is this the lady I saw with Mkwaju? What has happened to her? You know, surprise people. Feel what it is and do so on. So it's very, very important that we do that. So, but how do you level up? How do you level up? Because we're talking about resilience. We are talking about how am I doing time-wise? How many more? Okay. So how do I level up myself and so on? It's just progressing. Look at our business. How can we do it better than yesterday? What else do you do? And sometimes leveling up. Like now we have said, and I've talked to my MD. I call her my MD. And when I introduce myself, when we go to meetings with her, and I say, oh, I'm the founder, group CEO. No, first of all, I say I'm the founder, chairman, group CEO of Top and finance director of Top Image, because I'm not so sure if I left her to manage the fund, she'll not buy herself a Ferrari. I said, wow, is that how you introduce herself? But we are such good friends. So now she's out of the country. We want to get new business revenue streams, because we can't just be in this industry for the last 27 years. We need to invent myself. We need to reinvent ourselves. And COVID has also taught us this. So we need to have that fighting spirit of going strength to strength. Doing the speed is of essence. It's very, 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 very important. But the rest of my story, you read it in a book, which I'm writing when I celebrate my 70th year. But I also thank God to be here. That it's been 27 years, but it's not be easy. I fight with those men, and I tell them I'm the best. And when I go there, they don't scare me. Don't be scared. They are your brothers, sisters, your husband, and so on. Network with them. We do your girls' club. Why can't these people, Safaricom, have a boys' club? We have also formed our girls' club elsewhere. And we should also form, even in your office environment, at Absa, you can do it, or wherever you're in business, have your own see what businesses are you in, girls. You know, I want to call you girls. I don't want to call you women. And some people, when I call them girls, and they say, we are not girls. Of course, you are girls. You are married. Yes, you are women, but you are girls. If the boys can call themselves, they are men, married men, and so on, why can't you call yourself also girls? Well, and so on, you know. So let's do those things together. Let's support each other. Mentor people. We mentor people. Even Bidanya has her own mentoring club. And that resilience, I also rubbed on her. She's a girl who went through colon cancer. She's been surviving for 12 years now. We fought that cancer, and she calls it the small C. Don't give it the power that is that. You have to fight it. It's all in the mind, girls. Those businesses, may I tell people, I play in big businesses with the boys. I don't only deal with the girls, also the boys. Chris is laughing here and so on. Fight with them, and I go there and they say, that mama, she's so full of, yes, I'm full of myself, and I tell them I'm the best, and I'm the best. I'm very result-oriented. I give quality, but I also train my people. I trained everybody in the office. I'm mentoring women, and I'm glad to mentor some of you if you are here. I like to mentor you because we need to go to the next level. Women are the group to go to. We are the force to be reckoned with anymore. Already it's being seen, even in this country. People are complaining. The girl child has become so strong, we don't hear the boys anymore. A lot of boys are still staying in their homes with their parents, but girls are out there doing big things, buying their own homes. And so I just want to encourage you that if I can do it, original, by the way, I'm a graduate teacher. I was a teacher. I was the first African-led teacher to teach at Lenana School. But like I told you, I wanted wealth, resilience. I wanted to make money. I wanted to feel good and so on. So I made sure I left teaching where I can go. I went to be a sales rep. From a sales rep, I was a sales manager, brand manager, operation director, and so on. I was then. And I'm proud of what I've done. And I would like also, all girls can do it. And I tell girls, I tell them, when I was sleeping on the floor, at Maringo on the floor, the first time I slept on bed, when I went to Form 1. Because we used to live in this house, and with my father had so many relatives who came to Nairobi from Samia, ended us in our homestead, so we had to sleep there. Yeah, I don't know some of you. I wanted to wear those nice shoes. Now I have many pairs of shoes. My mother told me, you want those things? Just read hard and work hard. And I thank her that you are going where those things are. And I did that. And I was very careful. I was intentionally that I knew I'll make money, even when I was young. And I dream big. Girls, women, let's dream big. Scale up your business. Some of you are scared. I've read the stories all over. Even in America, some Jewish woman who was doing her business very well, but she doesn't want to scale up her business because she's going to earn more than her husband. Yeah, and she can't because the society does not. Let's forget that. Talk to our husband. Let them be our co-partners. And for your girl child, but I never say that there's sky. For me, there's no sky. I'm not breaking any glass ceiling. There's no ceiling for me. Those things are just chooch and I'm off. On that note, thank you very much, and let's have any questions.
Wow. Let's put our hands again together for Jennifer Barasa. Isn't her story amazing? Huh? She is amazing, very amazing. I've just been taking notes. I have a full page, just writing notes. And I hope you have too, because I'm going to be asking questions, because I have giveaways to give. But wonderful. And I thought Fabulous 50. Yeah. This Fabulous is going now a notch higher. Fabulous 70. Ladies in the room, those online, wouldn't you want to look like that when you're at 70? Let's give her another round of applause. So we still do have more stuff coming. We have one more highlights coming up. And before I get to that, I have questions. I have just been taking notes, and my questions are coming from here. And I want to ask, the first question is, how many shillings? And for this, I am giving more. I believe we still have 3 Absa packs. I'm going to give away, I said we have a leadership game facilitation that we do as Value Connect. One of the John Maxwell resources, I'll be giving away that. And also, we do have Sankara giving us dinner for 2 at Grace Steakhouse and 2 sets of raffle tickets. 2 pairs. 2 pairs means 4, isn't it? Yeah? 1 pair to Diani. No, we've given away Diani. So 1 pair to Lamu and the other pair to Malindi. So those of you here, if you're online, how many shillings did Jennifer start off with? Hey, this one is easy. Easy, easy, easy. Pick, pick, pick. Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
She started with 30 bob.
She started with 30 shillings. Yes, let's put our hands together. What's your name?
Susan.
Susan. So we can give you an Absa pack, and online, if we have someone else, yes, if we can see online also, if someone has answered it, we can also give another pack there. For the next question, it's not going to be so easy. This one I have to make it hard. So Mary Onyango, online, you got 30 shillings. Let's put our hands together for her. She'll get another Absa pack right there. So this next one is going to be a little bit harder. Yeah? A little bit harder. Jennifer, Dr. Ruth Kinoti, we had from Sheila, we had from Chris before. They talked about certain attributes. And it's actually also one of the things that is forming the conversation in this room today. And what was one of those key things that she used to be able to advance herself as she started her business, as she knocked on doors? What was she getting from there? What was she leveraging on? I'll take someone from this side, back there. Actually, there's no hand here, so I'll go back there. She was? I thought I saw a hand and it went down. Okay, so, okay, go ahead. And we'll do 2. So 1, 2, all right? Thank you for being my eyes, Susan. Go ahead, tell us your name and what the answer is.
My name is Janet.
Yes, Janet.
My name is Janet. I think one of the key things that helped Jennifer Barasa was networking.
Yes, it was networking. Let's give a hand clap to Janet. She got it. There was somebody else there, yes? Give her something else. She said networking, so give her something else.
Yeah, my name is Lillian, Managing Director, Kendirita Tours and Travel. From Jennifer's story, I got several.
Yes.
And God was her anchor, and then she sought help from the friends that she worked with.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's give a hand clap to Lillian. So again, Jennifer, and that is a theme that has been repeated. Not just Jennifer, Ruth told us, Shiro told us. We're hearing this. Again, the importance of networking, the importance of asking for help and putting your hand up. So for Janet and Lillian, you're also going to get an Absa pack. For this one, I want to give the tickets, 1 raffle ticket, a pair to Pami. We do Malindi this time. Thank you. So for this question, when Elizabeth was sharing earlier on, she talked about 4 things that the She account is giving. Again, if you're in Absa, this is disclaimer, you are not eligible. You are not eligible, and we want to hear that. So, now who put their hand up first? Susan, you're my eyes. Can you pick? Pick one person to answer this question to win themselves a raffle ticket. Okay. Tell us your name.
My name is Jacinta Kenodia from Women. Jacinta Kenodia from Women in Business Network. She mentioned 4 things, 4 pillars.
Yes.
Mentoring and coaching, access to finance,
yes,
access to market,
yes,
and what? Sorry,
start again. Mentoring, coaching, yes.
And networking. Access to finance,
yes,
access to market,
yes,
networking,
yes,
coaching and mentoring.
Awesome. Let's put our hands together for her. And so you win yourself the raffle ticket to Malindi. Ticket for 2, so you get your way to Malindi. And then I have Samira Abbas, who's online, and she's gotten the answer right. And Samira, because you got the answer right, I'm going to give you the dinner for 2 at Grace Steakhouse, Sankara. So kindly share your details, and let's put our hands together for Samira for that. Thank you so much. Earlier on, I see Miriam, Dungu, Anita Ayuka, and Immaculate Ochola. You all got the answers right. Resilience, confidence, and courageous. Thank you for that and that contribution. So as we transition to the next phase, if you're watching us online, especially on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to kindly request that you log in into the Zoom account. And the team is going to share what that login for the Zoom account is, because the next session we are going into is copyrighted, and we are not allowed to transmission it on open networks. It needs to be in a closed network, and Zoom is the channel we're using for that. So kindly log into the link provided for Zoom, and you will be able to join us into the next session. Now, the next session is the partnership we have with Absa. As a John Maxwell Executive Director, for the last 3 years, we've been having the license to bring Live2Lead to our community here in Kenya. What is Live2Lead? Live2Lead is an event that John Maxwell has been hosting for the last 8 years. Together with other world-class speakers, John brings them together on a live stage in the month of October. And with this content, they share their stories. They share their journeys as leaders, as business people, the challenges they have experienced. And when we listen to them, we learn from them, we glean from them, we identify with them, and we're able to get inspired. We're able to take lessons and takeaways that we want to advance us to the next level. And Absa Bank has been so gracious. Since 2019, they have partnered with us. And you in the room, you watching us virtually, I want you to put your hands together and say thank you to Absa Bank, because courtesy of them, we're able to bring you this content. The license is not cheap. So Absa has paid for you to be able to access this content. Isn't that wonderful? And today, usually we have 5 speakers that are usually on live stage. Like I said, it happens in October, and then we get the recording and we work with this content for another 5 months until the end of February. So in another 2 weeks, our license will be expiring as we seek to renew the license for 2022. And today, very much in line with the conversation we've been hearing from the Absa welcome remarks from the fireside chat, we will be listening to an amazing lady by the name of Jamie Khan Lima. Jamie Khan Lima and Jennifer, here is inspiration. People like you do write books. Yeah? Jamie Khan Lima is the author of this book called Believe It, How to Go from Underestimated to Unstoppable. We'll be listening to Jamie Khan Lima. She founded a company called It Cosmetics from her living room. Another similarity to the stories we had right here. And she went on, after many struggles, eventually managed to sell her company to L'Oreal. And I'm sure some of you ladies in the room and online, you do use L'Oreal products. Yes or no? Yes. Yeah? And she managed to sell her company to L'Oreal and went on to become their first CEO, female CEO. Isn't that amazing? So those stories are not just happening there, they're also happening here. And if you're listening to us, we will be sharing with you how you can actually take these lessons and begin to apply them to yourself. As Value Connect, this is one of the things that we do. We are a solution provider. We're helping to build you. So we not just bring you the content, but we work with you. We mentor, we coach, so that you can have these resilient skills for yourself. And if you are here, we have a desk outside. My colleague is sitting there. You can stop there and just hear how much more we can offer and work with you. I've also just authored a book. Last year, I was saying Fabulous 50 because I turned 50. And there's also a book sharing my story, my journey of resilience in more ways than you can imagine. And you want to get yourself a copy if you're here. If you're online, let us know, and we can also find a way of getting it to you. So I want to believe that we have transitioned. We have closed our Facebook Live. We have closed our YouTube. And shortly, we will be transitioning to the Live2Lead content. Remember, I still do have 2 more giveaways. We still have another ticket to Lamu. Ooh, fantastic destination. Yeah, we'll be giving it out. And then we also have our leadership roundtable experience that we facilitate. So if you're a company, leveling up we've had is about team, it's about reskilling your people. You want to grow, you cannot go to the next level without your people. And you want to win this for yourself and your team. It's a 3-hour eye-opening session that will just take your company to the next level. So we'll also be giving that out before we close today. So team, do we have the Live2Lead ready? I believe so. So let's have that running. Let's close all the other channels. And then for you in the room, another disclaimer on copyright issues. We are not allowed to record the video onto our cameras. So let's just listen and watch, because we do not want to find ourselves bad from renewing our licenses into next year. So please, no recording of what is happening. Let's just enjoy it and watch it. And if you want to get more or to know how you can interact with it further between now and end of February, let's talk and I'll be able to let you know how you do that. So let's go to Jamie Khan Lima. Let's put our hands together for Live2Lead.